I'm flying to Vietnam today on Jetstar. My flight is at 3:30 p.m. on a Monday. My whole family is currently out of the country and all my friends have real jobs. I'm also not rolling in YouTube money yet, so I'm catching the Sky Bus, baby. So I'm at the airport now. Had a bit of a classic Jetstar moment and the flight's been delayed. It's 2 o'clock. It's supposed to take off at 3:30. It's now supposed to take off at 6. I'm gonna go check in. I'll check out the lounge and just kind of hang out, I guess, for 4 hours. But yeah. Anyway, we're here now. I thought it was crossed out, like they just cancelled the flight. But it's just the TVs. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, that's, yeah. A bit early now. Yeah, she needs us. Is that what you need to see, I think? Yeah.
There's, I'll get the message there's been a slight delay here. Sorry about that.
That's alright.
Boarding from gate 12.
You do get express pass with Jetstar Business. Got one of those. Yeah. It's not any faster. As you can probably tell, Melbourne Airport is completely dead at 2 p.m. on a Monday. There wasn't a single queue for check-in, security, or customs. I did get a bit of free advice on the way through, though.
Go to Mahava Lounge.
I didn't follow this advice, even though I probably should have, and I just wandered around for an hour, getting my steps in, looking at planes, that sort of stuff. This is so cool.
Mr. Zagari, Mr. Dave Raj Chandari, Mrs. Chandari, Mr. Gordon Smith, Mr. Fia Rockman.
I eventually decided that it was time to descend into the depths. Food is not bad. It's just underground, dark, and there's not much to see or do, but it's free food, so I'm hungry. Let's go. Hello.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Look at that. Oh, look at that. Delicious. Alright, we've got a feast. Got a latte, water, orange juice, food. If it's not clear from the title of the thumbnail, I'm flying Jetstar business class today. Only the top dog, most expensive Jetstar business class tickets actually get lounge access. I'm not flying on one of them today, but I do have Qantas Club, so that's how I got in. Now, I talked about this lounge in my first ever video, so go check that out. But basically, it's downstairs, it's quite dark, but it's nice enough. There's a good drink selection, and the food is perfectly edible. Okay, so I was supposed to be going to Vietnam with a friend, but basically, through a comedy of errors, they ended up not getting a visa in time for Vietnam. We booked these flights like 2 weeks out, so it was a little bit tight. And then also the visa website page and the way that you get visas is really kind of just, it seems a little bit sketchy for Vietnam, I'll be honest. The website has like the sketchiest URL and the form that you fill in is pretty confusing. The payment terminal is whack. It feels like a very sketchy process. Also, when you Google Vietnam visa, there's like 50 different places that are willing to do it for you. Look, at best, these places will overcharge you. At worst, you'll end up with your identity stolen. I'll put the link for the official Vietnam visa website down below. Don't trust me, do your own research. I don't even trust myself. Be careful, do it early, and check the progress of it. Let's go check out this Jetstar flight and yeah, this very delayed Jetstar flight.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess figure out your flight to Da Nang and I'll see you there.
Hi. Thanks.
Mr. Mask, please help the man.
Okay. Thanks. Masks are mandatory. Morning. Thanks.
Hello, sir.
Government regulation that you wear your face mask for the duration of the flight, starting now. You'll be permitted to remove your face mask under any event for the
Orange juice, thanks. Orange juice. Thank you. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I get the salmon? Can I get the white claw?
White box?
Yeah, one of them, please. Thanks.
It's looking good, but we have to wear face masks. Still have to wear face masks? What is going on?
Going through today, Alexis Bosch. We are about to close the door.
while we take you through the safety requirements for our Boeing 787.
Yeah, pushing back at some speed. So we're about to take off. It's now 6:14 and we're supposed to leave at 3:20, but you know, the Jetstar experience. At least it wasn't cancelled. I guess we can say that. But still. And also masks. It's 2023, but it's a very empty business class cabin. 8 people out of 21 seats. It works for me. I've got this seat next to me, free, obviously, and then the whole row. I've got the whole row free. So it's just me in row 3, and I've got all this space to spread out. You can't really see, it's a bit dark, but look at that, all this leg room. It's time for takeoff. That looks incredible, honestly. The claw has arrived. There's also some pretzels. I'm not a huge pretzel guy, but when they're in front of me, I'll eat them. With pretzels and a claw. Jetstar business class is like a sports bar in the sky. Another good thing about being in the last row is there's no one behind me, so I don't feel bad for just constantly reclining. And speaking of, there's quite a bit of recline actually. I don't know if you can tell. It's not a bad seat, really. It's like a premium economy sort of seat, domestic business class sort of seat. It wouldn't be super comfy for like an overnight flight. I'd still much prefer a bed, obviously. For the price you're paying, I'm actually probably pleasantly surprised more than disappointed. Legroom is like, you can't complain. Lots of legroom. Okay, so the salmon is like well and truly overcooked, but still decent flavors. And yeah, the texture, look, it's a microwave meal sort of quality, but I guess it is a piece of salmon, so you don't usually get them in a microwave meal. So far, okay. There's way too much balsamic vinaigrette for the tiny little salad here. I just started pouring it on everything because it's humongous container. Got some light butter to go with the bread. I've got to say the bread is really good. This is like the Qantas bread. It's just like that freshly baked sourdough style bread it's really nice. That's one thing Qantas does really well, is have really nice bread, I found, at least. And I think they've got it here as well. It's that crusty sourdough. I love it. The salad is just a few leaves, some edamame, and I think pumpkin. Weird combination. I mean, it's fine. Not very big.
That's what she said.
Could be better, that's all. That's the only real miss so far. The salmon's okay, a bit microwavy, but... some type of cake. Carrot? Orange and almond cake? Again, perfectly fine. If I was to rate the whole thing, I'd go, the bread was the best, then it's the cake is the second best, then the salmon, then the salad. All around, nowhere near a proper business class. Though actually my last Qantas business class wasn't that good, so not bad. Surpassing expectations so far. Okay, so we've got a post-dinner tea or coffee. I went with a peppermint tea, looking good. And we got a little chocolate as well. Once again, the service is surprisingly good. I kept on coming into this thinking this wasn't proper business classes, but it's basically premium economy seats with a sort of real business class service. Okay, so we're like 3 hours in now. I've just watched a movie, and so far so good. I've just been reclined on, if you can see that. Still got enough leg room. Legs go straight under. I was going to do some work on my laptop. I don't think it'll fit now, but the seat next to me, the guy hasn't reclined in front, so I might just sit up there and do some laptop work. I'm going to check out the toilets now, so let's go do that. Alright, here we are in the lavatory. It's pretty standard. I think they have been cleaning the toilet because it's still folded with the triangle, so that's kind of nice. It's got the nice automatic sync, sort of all the Dreamliner modern stuff. Interesting thing, right? Did you know, despite smoking being banned on planes since pretty much like 2000, the FAA still regulates that you must put an ashtray or a place to dispose of a cigarette in the toilets. So here it is on the Dreamliner. This is because obviously if someone did smoke and then they didn't have a place to put it out, that's a fire hazard. So all planes still need to have them in the toilets only. Pretty standard lavatory at the front here. I think there's only one for the business class cabin. I'll double check that on the way out and put it up on the screen. One for 21 people. Not bad. I didn't have to wait. So yeah, cool. As you can see, or as you can't see, it's completely pitch black. I might end up falling asleep. We'll see. Okay. The snack ferries have landed. I went to see if they would refill my drink bottle, and then they offered me other drinks and snacks. I've gone one of these sparkling waters with some blood orange and mango. It's really good. I might be downing a lot more of these. We've only just left Australia, so look, there's still 4 hours for me to be... I could get through maybe 6 of these. I have to just go to Pringles, but there's a whole snack menu apparently. Pringles, cheese, olives, sweet snacks, all free. You just ask, and he was incredibly like, oh, just let me know, like super friendly about it, like offering me whatever I want. So like, it's the service on Jetstar is surprisingly good. Yeah, the seats aren't the most comfortable, but I am thoroughly impressed, and I'll be snacking hard. It's dangerous that I've learned this halfway into the flight because there's a lot of snacks for me to try, and I like a snack. So yeah, I'll probably eat these now. I've done a little bit of laptop work. All of my like 8+ hour flights recently have been overnight sleeping flights. So like, this is just crazy. We're only halfway into the flight. What do I do? Anyway. I've gone for round 2 on the snacks. Got some popcorn. In a past life, or current business life really actually, I used to have to go down to a factory that was right next door to the Cobbs factory. Maybe once a quarter. We'd have to wait outside, and it would be like the best smelling place ever. You get so hungry just sitting waiting next door, because all they were doing was just popping popcorn all day. Okay, I think I'm going to just quickly talk about the entertainment system now. It's entirely sort of adequate.
Surprisingly adequate.
That's how I would phrase it. I've spent a lot of time back in economy on these Dreamliners in my early 20s, and spent a lot of time staring at these screens, so I know it very well, and I can say it's starting to show its age, but is generally adequate for the sort of 5 to 8 hour flights that you'll be doing on these sort of planes. There's just enough to get you by. Let me show you now. So you get these nice seat back screens. You do have to pay if you're in economy. It's included if you're in business. You've got movies, TV, audio, games, kids zone, blah 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 blah. If we get into the movies, there's not a lot. I think I counted it, there's 28 total. You probably can't watch them all, but still. I know, like, if you go on Emirates, they've got like thousands of movies, right? So you'll literally never run out. This is a bit different. You probably could run out of movies if you're flying regularly. They do have new releases, obviously, like Avatar and stuff like that. I guess quickly, they do have the essentials. Of course, they do have Crazy Stupid Love, and they do have The Hangover. It seems like every plane I've been on in the last 6 months has had Crazy Stupid Love, so that's good. I might just watch it again for like my 25th time. It's weird TV selection, so they don't have that many shows, right? They've got some kid stuff. They've got a lot of kid stuff, actually, which I guess makes sense. But in terms of like adult shows, they don't have a whole lot going on here. But like, weirdly, right? Whereas at Atlanta, they've got 40 episodes. So that is one good thing. Generally, the user interface is a bit slow. It's like slow to respond. It doesn't take your input very well. The headphone jacks are a bit finicky. They're down by the seat. You got to get it right in the right spot in order to be able to hear out of both sides to get the stereo sound, so that kind of sucks. And one other annoying thing is if you're if you're watching a movie, say, you can't control the light, and you can't hit the call button. There's no option for that. You have to exit the movie, so that's kind of annoying. It's got all your basics, but it's not, you know, the best system in the world. And for the fact that they're charging for it in economy, I think it's a bit ridiculous. Okay, maybe not ridiculous. I think it's quite just, you know, if you got to charge for it in economy, it should probably be a bit better than this. Anyway, that's the entertainment screen. Okay, we're about an hour and 21 minutes out from Ho Chi Minh. I didn't realize, but there's actually a second meal service. I fear I may have snacked a little bit too close to the sun, because now I've got this. Got a chicken quesadilla, some more of that good bread, some jam, another dessert, and more of my favorite drink. I was like considering getting another snack because I'm, you know, I might get hungry when I get to my hotel. Not now. I'm definitely getting fattened up on this trip. So, also this seat would have been terrible if I had someone next to me, but it's absolutely brilliant with no one next to me. So when I'm in my absolute gym bro phase of life, I occasionally get these frozen burritos that you put in the microwave. It's kind of a national disgrace for Mexico that these things exist, in my opinion. But you know, I just eat them for the macros. That is what this is reminding me of. In actual flavor, it's not bad. Yeah, it's acceptable. It's almost representative of Jetstar business class, actually. The actual main course, the seats, aren't that good. The accoutrements, the service, the bread, it's great. The bread is it. The bread is so good. They must have heard me too, because they gave me 2 pieces of bread. It's got potential, got big potential. Okay, that's like a pretty incredible cheesecake sort of thing going on there. Okay, so for this one we're going to go the bread is still the best. Then the cheesecake thing, oh, actually the mineral water. Bread, cheesecake, water, quesadilla. Still, really good. Still, I'm quite impressed with the service, especially with 2 decent meals. This is good. And you literally can't see anything. There's nothing out there. It's hot. Oh boy, it's hot. Okay, so that was it. That was Jetstar's business class to Vietnam. I've got to say that I was probably pleasantly surprised. It was generally pretty good, and I would do it again for this sort of flight, a day flight. Also, just at the end here, I'll quickly go over how much this cost. I've been super flaky on this, kind of forgot to do it in the last video, but I'll go through it now. I booked this flight using Qantas points. It was 51,300 points and $186 in fees. This was a terrible decision and I shouldn't have done it. Here's why, and we're going to get quite nerdy here, but stick with me. Basically, when you collect frequent flyer points, there's a solid argument that you should be trying to use them for flights that get you the best value per point. We can put a number to this. For instance, Melbourne to LA return in business class on Qantas costs around $12,000. If you're flexible, you can sometimes book the same trip for 216,800 points and around $600 in fees. If we deduct the fees from the 12,000 and then calculate the theoretical value per point, we get a value of 5.3 cents per point. We can do the same thing for a trip to Singapore. I'll put all the numbers up on the screen, but we get a value per point of around 2.9 cents. Now for a quick detour, this YouTube channel is my side project, but the side project of the side project is the Flight Formula website. On it, I've built this Qantas wine tracker. Basically, Qantas sells wine and they give you bonus points for specific bundles. These can often be a ridiculously good way of picking up some cheap points, like you're literally just buying wine for the points. Now, pretty often they'll be selling wine with points for a total cost per point of under 2 cents. Just to give you an example situation then, if you've got a bit of money and you're pretty flexible with your travel dates and you kind of like the search for finding the perfect reward seat, you could theoretically load up on wine and then book your business class flights for around a quarter to a third of what you'd be paying if you booked a paid ticket. For instance, a ticket to LA return could be had for $3,000 to $4,000 instead of $12,000. Anyway, back to the Jetstar business flight. I paid 51,300 points plus $186 in fees when the ticket price for this business class seat was literally going for under $800. If we deduct the fees from that and then divide by 51,300, we get a theoretical value per point of 1.2 cents. Now, if someone was offering me Qantas points for 1.2 cents a point, I would be backing up the truck and buying a ton ton of them. Except in this case, I was actually the guy selling the points to Qantas for that amount, basically. I didn't realize this until it was too late. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Check out flightformula.com maybe. Have a great week. Bye.